Hi, everybody. Welcome to the meeting. Just to remind everybody, there will be interpretations to language going on. So if you need to tune in, please choose your language. Nuevamente, bienvenidos a todos a la junta de hoy. Recordatorio, hay interpretación, por favor, de poner la idioma que tiene de preferencia. Another reminder, just like every event, this event will be recorded. Otro recordatorio, este evento será grabado. So por favor, si quiere ser atento a eso, en cuestión de que todo está grabado. Gracias.
Bueno, esta es una junta de ambos comités. It's going to be a both committees meeting. So this is DELAC. Our president is Daniela Velasco. I'm the co-vice president, Brenda Veronica. Or another co-vice president is Gianina Trujillo. And our secretary is Ashley Gates.
As Brenda said, this is a two meetings, DPAC and DELAC. I am the president of DPAC. Vice president is Daniela, and secretary is Robinson. We want to show, we want to have this moment so everybody can share some stuff. Anything could be from names, your school, where you guys are at with everything. Whether you're online, share some stuff or talk about it with each other. Here and present, if there's anything to talk, let's use this moment so briefly we get stretched out or something. Thank you, everybody, again for being here, and just use this space temporary. We'll be tuned in a little bit.
So in here, feel free to mingle. Online, feel free to chat in the chat. Introduce yourselves.
Sharon, nice to meet you. What school?
Okay.
Patterson Green and Adams.
Yes, I think you've met. Yes.
Little bit of a warm up. What high school?
Habla como 6 idiomas. ¿Qué otro idioma habla? Oh my God.
Portugués,
¿Cómo aprendió esos idiomas? Sí, tiene el swing en la sangre. Yeah. No, y se
So they went to me, challenge yourself. I always say, you can challenge yourself, go for it. I'll support it. I'm with my kids, I'll support it all. Let me know. It's a good choice. And it's different. Environment, the area.
Okay, so just new information, and once again to reiterate pretty much our agenda. We'll be sharing a lot of pictures and stuff, and just sharing information with everybody around the district brings, as in like what they encounter in CABE, what they learn from CABE, or what ideas are out there. So this is definitely going to be a sharing opportunity for everybody. So please don't be shy, and share as little as you want or as much as you can. But we're happy to have everybody that can share here today. We'll follow ups. but we left it a little bit blank. We definitely want to bring some follow-ups, but we want to just kind of focus today on CABE and all this everything that's interesting about our community itself. And then next step, so what we do want to start doing and what we like to share. Definitely an important day coming up. Our next step is very big among all leaderships, groups, and within all the district staff and everybody. April 11th, put it on your calendar. You will hear me say it at least one more time. I think it's very important that if you want to be a part of or just come see it or rate the room, let's make some noise. I think we should be excited for this year. We've done good work, all leadership all around the district. Definitely the staff done a lot of work and putting us in good situations. So I just wanted to share that on our next day. And then, as you can see, CABE 2024, I'll pass it a little bit to Brenda. Brenda,
Yes, we want to hear for you. What do you learn for CABE? So we are going to share, and I think Miss Julie have a good idea about how we're gonna work.
Sure. This is new, not being at the console, but if you are in the virtual world, please let us know if you can't hear us, but it's my understanding that all of us can be heard now. You don't have to come up to the screen, although when you're sharing your ideas, I am going to ask you to come so the people can see your face while you're talking. We have at this point under 20 participants, so I think we'll keep ourselves together as one group. If the group gets larger, we do have the option of going into breakout groups via Zoom, but I think we might just stay together for now. Can you fast forward one slide? I just wanted everyone to take a minute to enjoy some pictures from CABE so you can see how many people we actually got in there. And Alice, can you do me a favor and click that little X where it says the transcript thing? That way we'll be able to see, there we go. I tried to get all the pictures in to represent all our different schools represented. We had principals, we had assistant principals, we had parents, we had community liaisons. We had a nice representation, and I got to go too, which was wonderful. But what today is really about is bringing back what you learned. What I remember is many of you were on fire when we were walking out of there. We have so many ideas. We learned all this and we can't wait to bring it back. And I look forward to hearing all that passion and excitement today. So our goal today is really just to share. So I'd like to invite those of you in the room and those of you online who attended to take a turn walking us through something fantastic that you learned. Is there anyone who would like to start? Okay, Robinson, would you like to come over here so everyone can see your face? Remember to talk to the audience there and the audience here. You had a lot of pictures.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Buenos días todos. I would like to share a short overview about what I've learned as a parent, as a representative to the district, and my daughter's school as well. So me gustaría compartir con todos lo que he aprendido, no solamente como padre, representante del distrito, simplemente todo lo que he aprendido. So, first of all, I have learned from the last day, from the first day, how dual language can be very useful to the kids, to our community, how diversity can be a strength to the American society in general, because our kids, they deserve way better program that can bring them to a successful future. So, the first element I want to share is that I took a note. There is one question: what does equity, anti-bias, education, and critical consciousness look like in a dual lingual school? So if we have those three pillars, which is equity, anti-bias, and critical consciousness in our education, I believe our children can go freely in a world where they can feel themselves and they will face less issues with identity problem, with mental health situation, because they're able to express themselves fully. For example, our kids from South America, right? Our kids from Africa, from the Caribbean, who do not speak English very well. I believe they deserve a better program that the district, I believe they work on that to push harder. I'm very jealous when I see the other cities such as Anaheim. They have dual like Mandarin, Chinese, Korean. I'm very jealous. We have just few schools with Spanish. ¿Cómo no? ¿Por qué? Yo no sé. So this is the part I want to share, and I'm gonna let the rest of the presentation to our crew. So the last sentence I want to read to you guys: dual languages is reparation for the linguistic oppression that we have all inflicted upon linguistically diverse school communities in USA classroom. Thank you.
You, Robertson.
Any questions for Robinson?
¿Alguna pregunta? Any questions? Question?
Okay, and now the 4 other languages you speak, you're gonna put it out there.
You want to know 7 languages?
Well, I don't want to offend nobody. So if it was Portuguese or French or Caribbean, people from Haiti or people from Italy or Japan, they would be welcome to ask any question they have. Hopefully, in the long run, we can have something we can offer to those diverse group. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Robertson.
While you all are speaking, I'm trying to take some notes on chart paper, so we have a record. Thank you for, and you can help me by putting in whatever I miss. Who'd like to go next?
I will.
My left.
Good morning, everybody. So amongst all the things that I have learned so much at CABE every time I go. But this time I want to echo what Mr. Robinson said. I think that was the most impactful statements that I heard this time at CABE, that bilingualism is an asset for all the districts across the state, across the country, because by 2035, something like that, that they presented, we are going to have more bilingual youngsters in the education system than what we have now. And I would like to see that we value all the students that are coming from different countries, that they are fluent in math, they are fluent in science and language arts, but the only thing that they don't know is the English part. But they probably are talented in all those areas, that we need to value that education that they are bringing from their countries. And one of the things that I heard is that we have to create a unity and a mutual respect amongst all students' backgrounds. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. We all have dignity, and all of us have the same values. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. It matters where you are going. And all students, even if they have different languages, they deserve the best education they can get. And being different is not being deficient. That we have to stop stigmatizing students that don't know English, because sometimes they are labeled as, oh, they can't, or they are not going to go anywhere because they don't know English. But I invite you to ask around and see what grades they come from their respective countries. I have shared this previously. I met a kindergarten student from Peru, apologies, that he was fluent in reading, but he doesn't know the language. So he's an English learner as a negative connotation to it, instead of being a progressive English learner, not just an English learner that can do anything. He's already reading, just not in English. We should polish those students that are coming from different countries. We always talk about diversity in our district. We should explode that diversity and make it great. We want to be the gem of the district. We already are the gem of the district. We have so many backgrounds and ethnicities. We should explore that. And with that, I let you. I think that was the most impactful part, that we should value our students that are not necessarily in the dual immersion program, but they are bilingual because of the countries that are coming from, and not necessarily Spanish. They come from every part of the world. Thank you.
I forgot to ask if there were any questions or follow-up, but feel free if you want to add on. If you want to make a comment, if you want to ask a question, please just jump in. You don't need an invitation. Okay?
I actually have a comment or a statement to what you said. The one thing that I learned, and pardon me, I was shocked when I realized bilingual wasn't just Spanish. Do you know what I mean? And I think that sometimes as a world, we get caught in the negative part of, oh, it's just Spanish, oh, it's just Spanish. And I was shocked. I was like, Sharon, you're Barrera, right? Like your eyes are open to such a different respect for people. You know, when you realize you're saying bilingual, that means the many things if you speak more than English. And I sat there in like shock, like, girl, if you don't go home, put yourself on timeout. But imagine, like, especially with our district, you get very frustrated because it appears that we're just catering to one nationality of people, because there's so many little small, people from other countries that get overlooked because one community is bigger. But I think that one of the reasons that I go and that I try to be around is because I want every culture in our district to know that whether we have language barriers or not, and we're bilingual or we're just English, we're all here functioning as parents. And if we learn from each other and teach, that it will be more parents, because I was shocked to see the 200 parent involvement from Anaheim. I looked around like, what? Like, what are we doing as a district that can bring us closer? And I think if we explore and we open up, no matter the language, that the bilingual community will stand out a little bit more than just being English and Spanish and this. Like, if we just get in here and just sit together, and we learn, he speaks, 700 languages, like we should be talking. But to just literally, but to just meet him at Kabe, I was like, so where is he? That just goes to show you that we don't do enough intermingling through the district as parents. And I think that if we start with Kabe, I would like to see it advance to more different conferences than just Kabe. I mean, I look forward to it, but I want to look forward to more, than that. But when I was like bilingual, what? not just Spanish. I was like, what? And I realized it was all. And I think that we need to support that more, the all.
A comment on the chat, which is, good morning. I am a parent member of Mark Twain's DELAC. First of all, thank you so much for the opportunity to attend CABE. One of the many things that impressed me was that ELAC is the key to success for my multilingual students. Also, the importance of parents receiving adequate technology support to help better to our children.
Hi, good morning. My name is Tanya, and I am an ELAC member from Mark Twain. Going to CABE was an amazing experience, and I would like to share with you a few things. I like when I heard from one of the speakers that the multilingual students, they are little shapeshifters and always adapting from one culture to another, and how they have to translate their opinions and thinking and culture is something just amazing. And we have to help them to express themselves and to do that. They also talk about the power of hug, but I don't know. Well, maybe South America, probably we hug and we will not get in trouble, but I don't know about here. Also, like the person in online said, ELAC is the key to help students for success. And I strongly believe this too. I like when I went to the PLI meeting, how they were talking about having a strong relationship between parents and the school. And I really want to make it happen. So yesterday, 3 parents from Mark Twain, Maria, Lisa, and myself, we got together and we already started to work on it. So we would like to, as an idea, we would like to make a room for parents with computers so that we can have workshops for them to how to use different apps on Google Chrome so they could help their kids, how to use iReady, how to look their grades on Power School, and also how to be able to volunteer and help each other. Because sometimes parents don't know what can they do for the school. They're like, yeah, I want to help, but they have no idea all the things that they can volunteer, like gardening, like even being an ELAC volunteer. We could do so much, and we need volunteers to give parents access, like to link more with the school. We want to hear their opinions, and we can work with that and make our school better. I also heard in the conference that by 2030, 45% of the students are going to be Hispanic. So I strongly believe that we need more bilingual teachers. So right now, as a parent, we have 1 teacher per class, but I do believe that we need maybe an assistant, or maybe, maybe 2 teachers per class, because that way we will focus more on each child and give them a better support to learn English. Also, I like the fact that this year there was about 7,000 CABE participants, and that I felt very proud to live in California, because there were the key speaker said that we set the tone. California sets the tone, and then the rest of the country will follow our steps. I also like when he said that all our kids are genius. And it's our responsibility, the adult responsibility, to see and extract the genius in our children. So this conference was really inspiring for me, and I am already working to make it better. And I just want to thank ELAC and DELAC for giving me this opportunity to participate at the conference. Thank you. So, any questions? ¿Alguna pregunta? Okay, gracias.
If I could, chime in real fast with just a comment. Hi, everybody. Mike Bosler, principal over at Twain. And I, one of the classes I went to was actually a partnership that Cal State Bakersfield has with neighboring districts in doing a lot of what we had just talked about right now, with partnering with teacher preparation programs and neighboring school districts. And this is something I know Dr. Kane has been working on with the neighboring residency program, and then also with Cal State Dominguez Hills. So I'm really excited about the pipeline, because I think it speaks to everything that we want as a school here at Twain, but I know as a broader community, and it really drives the equity work that we're seeking. So I appreciate you bringing that up, and I just wanted to put in a plug for some of the stuff that we're doing. But that was largely my takeaway also from Gabe, is just the underlying equity work that has to take place across various facets. I think one of the more interesting classes I went to was our kiddos who were dually identified, those who are English learners but also have IEPs, and how this was Imperial County that was doing a great job of incorporating their SELPA, the regional special education support, and the local site levels, the different districts, where we have so many needs across so many facets. And I think when I first logged on to the meeting, the conversation about, this not just being one language, right, dual immersion in Spanish, but really acknowledging that we have a diverse community and we need to find ways to embrace everyone. And that cannot just be a language thing, but also potentially a learning ability concern with kiddos who learn differently and or need different support. So I'm really grateful to have gone. I'm really grateful to have gone with teachers here at Twain and some fantastic parents. And I just echo everyone's sentiment about the need for just continual thought and work around equity here in Lawndale, and just how that looks like for us.
Thank you. Any questions, anybody? Any comments?
Would like to share that Alex and Brenda, don't exclude yourselves, 'cause you were there.
We're not. We're just trying to give everybody a chance. But hey, I got put on the spotlight. Vámonos. So yeah, I was definitely jumping within workshops to workshop, a conference. I really enjoy my time. This is my second year. Very privileged to go 2 years. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but yeah, I've enjoyed both things. I think the first year around was as exciting as the second time, but there was differences. The difference is that I was more in the act of learning and trying to see and ask questions, and I didn't know what to expect. This year around, I was expecting the same thing. As it is, I got surprised that there was other things. I said a few people that I saw last year, and I saw a lot of new faces. And within the roles of leadership and knowing people, other parents and staff, and knowing that they're also engaged and they're also have ideas, and it's beautiful. And so I learned as much and polish some of the stuff that we've been doing. And when I say we've been doing, I'm talking about the generation before us. And let me not say generation, this is the group before us. And I always kind of take it back sometimes on them because it's very important what we're doing, but how we were doing it and how we would do it forward. Quick insight, I ended up on one of the workshops. I believe I wasn't supposed to be there. It was more for the superintendents, but now I I infiltrated a little bit their minds, and which was good. I won't share too much of that because I want to keep some of that to myself. Encourage everybody to go in there and find stuff, and try to get involved in the future times. Just ask your school side, and regardless if you're involved in a group or not, I believe they'll hear you out. A lot of people don't know about COVID too much, and then they don't talk. But if you're here and you happen to be one of the person that wish you were there or that wish you would know more about that, to be more engaged or just to be more of a parent engaged with your own child. I'll jump into one of the workshops also that I really endure and like because they were working and they were explaining on a module where it was kind of a teaching. And when I saw the way they structure it, the way they broke it down, the way they did things, it was a good structure. And I really liked how they use their unofficial minutes or in the minutes and their and how they show they do their things. I think it's a great idea, and I've saw many of our meetings where we go beyond our unofficial minutes or on our official minutes. So we have so much to say, so much to do, and then we get beyond the time. And sometimes when they kind of follow up on that, they always put like unofficial minutes. So kind of stuff that gets left, I guess, lingering around and not answered or not talked about because everybody wants to share. And you give me the mic and then I won't give it back. So with that being said, I mean, it's one of many ideas that I heard. Also the personnel, right now, as you can see, DPAC and DELAC, we're here chopping it up together. And we have our team officials, but also one thing that I thought it was nice is that they opened it up a little bit more, or they were doing it slightly a little different. They had their president, they had the vice president, they had their secretary, and then they had an additional members where they expand the group a little bit more. And I think even though if the members can't participate as much or vote on any case whatsoever, there's more to a cabinet. And I think it gives it more power. And fortunately, I've seen in both groups, we really haven't lost anybody, which is great. But sometimes years past, years forward, they could be those person that, for some reason they have to move. And these members get the opportunity to fill in one of those spaces. That's kind of why I liked it. But there's more to it. Also, if you look at how many representatives we have in our group, right now we have three in DPAC, three representatives of 7 schools. And it gives the opportunity to find more representatives of each school and bring some more of those information resources. Just once again, it's an idea that I want to throw out there. But one thing I really want to polish it, and it gives credit to everybody that's been here before me and the staff that's kept us together. We came from prior to COVID, and we were in person, and we loved it. I think everybody loved it. Then we got into an online settings and we were scared, everything was going on, but we got so much time into that, at least 2 years, where we made a platform out of it. What I've noticed is so many districts have struggled to keep both platforms, to really like, hey, you know what, we were here, now we're online, and we kind of stayed online because we just didn't know how to go back. And then there was other districts where like, oh, we came back in person and forgot about online and we don't know how to bring it back together. Well, that ain't the problem here. And I love it because there's 2 reasons why you can be here in person if you like to be here, if you want to be here, and if you can make it. Otherwise, we have participants online as well. So our hybrid system is very strong. And, not to brag, but we've been doing pretty good on that. And I feel that, that is one of the places that we definitely will shine. We definitely got to give credit to where credit is due on our staff, definitely. Julie, our technology, and the groups that keep staying here and keep bringing ideas and keeping us together. So I was, as I probably show it by face and expression, it was very exciting. It was good. I'm happy to bring things back. And, it's been a pleasure to be part of this run, hybrid. And thanks to guys before us for setting the tone, because it really helped keep those things together. Any questions, comments?
I have a question.
Oh,
I remember, yes, I remember seeing you in one of the workshops, and I would like you to speak about it because you spoke out loud and clear. Stop, drop, and roll.
So, okay, so that was the conference, right? Can you tell us who was the main person?
Carlos Rios.
Carlos Rios. Carlos Rios, I think he had the room full and he had everybody engaged. And forget it. You give me the mic, I'm gonna take it. And Carlos Rios saw that. It's funny you bring that up because I think that's one of the things I had in my notes, and I didn't know how to bring it up. But you will help me in case I'm missing some of the stuff. So he's introducing a book, right? And he's just introducing how um, diversity is starting to work, how different stuff, and how words can impact our community, our children, and how things are not really, what do you say? Kids don't know this stuff. They learn it within communities or parents or other things, and sometimes we normalize it. And uh, the key thing about this and the stop, drop, and roll, it's kind of like a movement. I believe it's a movement that is going to show up, and we've all been part of it. And so sometimes language is used, like the N word or other like where for example we're growing up and our parents normalize a word like "Ay, este es mi prietito." Hi, this is my little dark one. And so that become normalized to a culture, and then later on it's okay to say it, it's okay, but we are really in a better place where we really don't need to use certain words anymore. I understand where we come from, but I better understand how we have evolved. So the stop, drop, and roll, it kind of puts a, a tool in your hands to say, hey, wait, stop. You don't need to say that. So you really would you drop everything, you drop everything you're doing, and you explain why it's it's not good to say certain words. And the role, you just pick up where you left off. You do not want to make it an engagement of fighting. And so these three steps, stop, drop, and roll, kind of gives you a tool that, hey, you can have a conversation with someone that's using a word, and culturally they might be using it because they grew up with it. And it's not that it's dangerous to the moment, but it's what has been cultivated in the past and how we're moving apart from it. Anything else you want to add to it?
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Yes, yeah.
So Brenda, I got put on the spotlight.
Yeah.
Anything you want to share? Oh,
So you mentioned, I'm sorry, you mentioned earlier that other parents can attend. How can a parent get invited or attend a conference like CABE?
oh, you put the staff on pressure, go to your principal and say, hey, I heard about CABE, I heard this and this and that, how do I get in there? And as funny as it is, CABE is not only an opportunity for us that are running around and helping our communities, it's also an opportunity for other parents to come in. And a lot of those parents uh, are the opportunity of the next people that take the ropes. So your principal comes first. Hey, I'm gonna share a story since they put me here. So when I came here, I was actually going to a school site. I ended up at my daughter's James Adams school, and I thought it was cafecito with the principal. I was told it wasn't, that it was cafecito with the superintendent. I was like, ooh, I'm gonna go there. So I went over here and I enjoyed the meeting, the cafecito and the good stuff they gave out to eat, obviously, because they do that from time to time or all the time. But that's not the reason I came. I just wanted to be part of the community, the schools, my daughter's school, be involved, be engaged. And so I came in and I heard stories, I heard everybody what they said. And then I'm here now. And if it wasn't because I felt like I was brushed off from the school, but then I was like, well, and here's my thing. The principal doesn't want to talk to you, come see the superintendent. And the superintendent doesn't want to talk to you, come see Julie, come see anybody. Sorry, Julie. But yeah, and so that's how you really get your point across. And so if you want to be involved, engaged, or simply, participate in the stuff that's gonna help you and everything around you, your kids or community, that's how I did it, that I share my story, and my story is not, not ended yet, but with as time is coming, I said I was gonna share the date multiple times, and I thought it was just gonna be twice. April 11 is very important. As everybody before me is sharing CABE and all these ideas and bringing this stuff forward, this is why April 11 is important, because not only you'll hear all these what we've done and progressed throughout time and year-to-year basis, this is also the time to let them know, hey, we have these ideas, why we're not implementing them. And when we have that kind of ideas brought to the district and give it to them, and more people that agree, there's no way they can just brush them off. So I encourage everybody and anybody with ideas or statements or anything to come on April 11. April 11, right? I said it so many times, I think I got it. But yeah, that is definitely going to be a next important day, but it's also a follow-up of everything that's been going on. A lot of good information. And yeah, that is the breaking point to how to get invited to the district, the schools and stuff like that. But importantly, we're talking about CABE. That is a way, if anybody says no, say it now, because I think that would be a good way if you're not involved yet. And I say yet because there's a lot of potential up there.
And on one of my jobs and one of your jobs I asked to help with is to help parents learn about all the different ways they can participate. You have school site council, you have ELAC, you have PTA, you have APAC. You might want to volunteer in your child's classroom. You might want to volunteer for a field trip. Everybody can't do everything, but we want everyone to know the menu of options, right? And feel welcome and to feel part of it. And I wouldn't say anybody brushes you off. Sometimes if the principal or a superintendent's handling an emergency, they might be like, I would love to talk to you. I'm dealing with something, and give me, put down your contact info and I will get back to you. So I want to make sure that we do all try to be responsive in a reasonable amount of time. But it's a back and forth, right? Of respect and like, I hear you and I want to be there. And yes, we will do this. And it's a learning curve for administrators, for teachers, for parents, because working together as partners is relatively new. One of the things I enjoyed so much about the conference were the informal meetings. Like I heard through the rumor mill that Twain parents had lunch with their principal. Sitting at the table, just talking as human beings, right? About a shared interest in kids. I had the opportunity to have lunch one day with a principal and Alex, just chatting. Another day, I got to be with an assistant principal, a LOS, Shira as a parent, and a principal from another school. And we just sat together and shared ideas. And that to me is really where we're going with community schools and the partnership. It's not, I'm director of special projects, I'm up here and you're down here. No, it's we all are working to help our kids, right? And as a parent, you have your perspective. As an administrator, I have mine. As a language arts specialist, and we kind of figure out how do we work together, right? So that's what really the beauty is of this type of working together. And we're all learning. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. But I encourage you to keep coming and to share with your friends. Like, you know, remember the shampoo commercial? And she told 2 friends, and she told 2 friends, and she told 2 friends. And suddenly we have 50 people in the room when we get together and online or both. Power to hybrid wins,
Yeah.
yes. So I just wanted to add that comment. I'll turn the mic back
Perfect,
over to you.
perfect. And that was Julie, one of the person I'm telling you, you could go to. She's very resourceful and, we're grateful for that. So I'll pass it on to Brenda to share a little bit.
Okay, I want to bring back about community. She said community. Miss Kane told community too. I think that now also that we're progressing to community schools, bring community is really, really important. So I also want to add about committee of special education, Miss Kane, again, because I want to share something. Last CABE, last year, I met Judith in CABE. I have fortunately to meet her because she was attending too. And she told me about the program because he kid is also working with the regional center. So I learned something from her because she told me. So my kid is now in a new program with the regional center, and he's going to have like swimming classes, gymnastic classes, and everything is because Judith told me. I didn't know. So that's why it's important to bring a really community, because sometimes we can learn from each other, some things that we don't know. And that's also because it's really important for special needs kids to bring community with each other, because we could have more tools to help our kids. And I'm, as a mother of a special needs kid, it's really difficult to find these tools because I don't know, it's my first time. I have 3 kids, but it's my first time with a special needs kid. So it's really, really difficult. So if we have this committee, it could be really helpful for all the parents that has a special need kids like me. This is one thing. And the other thing from a workshop that I attend, it's also why the parents are coming from the meetings. What they are going to have from the meeting. We need to think about that because sometimes we need to change this place, the way that we are doing our meetings. They talk about, the first thing is the title. Some parents doesn't know what that means. I remember the last meeting, it was a mom that was asking if DPAC, it was from the assistants. Do you remember? Do you answered to her that she thinks that he could erase the assistants because his kid was absent in school, and he was like lost because she doesn't know what DPAC means. We saw just the name DPAC, but what is that? More of the parents doesn't know. So we need to change that title. Also, English learner, it's another title that a lot of parents think that it's wrong because a lot of parents say, oh no, my kid speaks English. Yes, but not the academic English. That is what we want to focus. So have these titles, it's not helping us to bring more parents. We need to focus on why and what they could learn in these meetings. Also, if the invitation says, okay, today we are going to talk about this thing and this thing and this thing, it could help the parents. Okay, I'm going to learn this one. So because I'm going to learn this one, I'm going to go because I could have something from that meeting. So this is the 2 things that I want to share with you. And it's everything for me for this moment.
I would like to say something. I didn't go to CABE. This is Sunny. I was former DPAC president. And again, it's good to see a full room and a full online room. And I do think, and when I was president here, and it was all on COVID, right? So it was rough. Even today, I'm feeling a little under the weather, so I apologize. The truth is, right? We have to echo what Brenda said, we have to really make clear what it is that each group does. This, I think, is probably bigger than anything else. Because I think people don't know and people can't buy in. People, like, I've been doing leadership, I've been thinking about this a lot. I've been doing leadership stuff in the district now for 4 years. It's been a while. I'm a veteran. I'm gonna be getting on my way out, right? We're letting new folks come in, and we're fighting some of the same battles, but we've done so much more. And part of, I think, our ability to be able to improve this is to continue to welcome folks in. CABE conference, I think additional conferences are really necessary, really important to allow parents to have different access and different types of things, different ways that they can see and grow and realize there is more that they can do. Again, I look around in this room now and I know most of the faces, and most of them are, again, they're doing double duty, but not all. And that's better than it was when I was DPAC president. The group has grown. We're continuing to grow, but I do think, like today's meeting, I had no idea what we're going to be talking about because it wasn't clear on there, and it wasn't clear, I think, why we should be here. And that part is the big thing. The other thing I want to say, again, to many people's points, is that I think that there is, again, something that is lost, like those folks online, again, they don't have the same access to the energy in the room as those in person. And we should continue to encourage folks to try to come in person once. There is a barrier. There was a barrier when we were all doing things on Zoom. And there is an opportunity to really build that special, amazing word community, talking to people. I know that it's how I'm able to build community. It's how I was able to build community in the past. It's how I'm able to build community now. We have to have these conversations. We need to have these discussions. And I really want to say how excited I am about today's meeting, especially because there's not as much a presentation, which I think is vital. We need to give information. We also need to receive information. We need to have discussions so that we can work together to solve problems. And I'll end on this. So Lawndale is small. Our district is a smaller district. You know, we have 8 schools. And in my time here, I really believe, truly, that we have these fantastic folks, staff, parents, students, everybody that are all trying to swim the same way. You know what I mean? We're all rowing together. And I really believe here, you're actually able to make a difference. That if you're in a bigger machine, if you're in a bigger school district, if you're in a bigger community, it's really hard. Here, I can honestly say that I feel like I've made a very large difference. And I hope that everyone can say that. And that if we can encourage more folks to come to one meeting, to get their foot in the door. We had a PTA meeting last night at Smith, and we filled up our board. We have a full board at Smith for our PTA for next year. And again, like, we had to get them in. We had to reach out individually. We had to reach out multiple times. We have to continue those conversations and really build. And I think the community liaisons are a big part of that. And my hope is that the community liaisons can be a bigger part of that. Hopefully, I don't know if we talked about LCAP stuff. Is that until next meeting?
It's coming up.
Yeah. But hopefully in the LCAP, the community liaisons can have more hours, help us really build more community because we need them. We need more because the reality is right now, I am lucky enough to not have to get to work till 10:30, but I gotta leave in 3 minutes. I got work to get to. There's a lot of families that don't have access to all of this that like we're building, right? But luckily we have a structure here in Lawndale that we have a person whose job it is at every school to help reach out to parents. And I think hopefully we can have them really help us continue to build this community. So anyway, that's all.
Thank you, Sonny.
Wanna just add to what you just said. I hear you loud and clear. I also believe that the community liaison person is very important. And our community liaison at Mark Twain, she's just only part-time. And I think that it should be a full-time because we need her. And we need her to have more assistants or volunteers. And this is where us as DELAC members, we wanna get as much as volunteer, just like you said. And in order to do that, we do wanna be more specific, not just say DELAC meeting this day, but specifically what we're gonna talk about. So we're gonna talk about today reclassification or something that parents are interested in, so they could come in and like you said, like see what is this all about and just get them involved and make that connection between parents and the school.
Well, I just want to say that I was amazed for all the things that I have learned. And one of the things that I wanted to see is how can the parent from my school and other schools can we engage? So I went to a workshop that is a school, family, and community engagement. So I went to this Anaheim district, which was big, and I wanted to know how did they do it? How did they came with so many parents and all together? So what they say was collaboration. Sorry. They collaborate with the parents, with the English learners, families. Also, they have communication, consistent communication and update about expectations. They also work along with EEL families to meet their education and social well-being. And they also did like home visit etiquette. They know their culture and customs of family, what they accept, what they don't accept. And then they also work as a connecting us. And the school district also ¿cómo se dice? Se juntó con otras escuelas, con otras universidades.
I think the translator does
Okay,
translate. Did you
okay.
speak Spanish, right? She can speak Spanish? Yeah, you can
Okay,
speak Spanish.
las escuelas, el distrito se conectaba con otras universidades para que pudieran ayudar a sus padres a tener una educación corta. Y cuando ellos terminaban ese estudio, les hacían una fiesta a ellos como para que se sintieran bien de ellos mismos, de que pudieron. So, todo eso me asombró las cosas. Y sé que esto no se hizo de un día para otro ni de un año. Fueron muchos años. But I can see a starting here. Like I see a lot of parents that are here, and I see also some new faces. Yeah. So I think we're going little by little, but we're going to the right path. And I really hope also, I would like to have a really, like one of the other parents said about the community liaison to have more time. Yes, because that's the communication between parents, community liaison, and then the principal. So we can all be, because we are family. We all want the same thing. We are going to the same goal, which is our kids. And that's it.
One more thing. I also heard at the conference and about to celebrate parents who are committed to the ELAC meeting, to the DELAC meeting, to the DPAC meeting, because being recognized, I think it's just like a natural thing that we all want. And so I just wanted to share with you today that last year I got this certificate. And I know it's just a piece of paper, but it made me feel that the London district was recognizing my hours and that I was doing something good for the community. So let's not forget about recognizing parents, people who work for the community, so that we could get more out of everybody.
Thank you.
One thing that Anaheim School District is big for is how they reward their parents. And they don't have 200 plus parents because they're thankful that they come to all the meetings online in person. It's their reward system. So because I had the opportunity to sit down with district member and my assistant principal from Green and from FDR, I shared something. I said, I don't know how this works. I don't know, because I don't do budget stuff or how the money works. But I think it would have been great for us to honor a parent, just if it was a windmill and they got picked out of the bucket, for a parent who really can't afford to stay at the Hilton Hotel. You know what I mean? For us to have surprised that parent and their family for just a one-night stay. Then maybe the next parent will be like, oh my gosh, like, do you know how much it costs to stay at the Hilton Hotel? Do you know what I mean? Like, and to think about it, what if a parent has 3 kids or 4 kids or 5 that they can get a joint room? Even if that's something that we have to raise as a community, because the district can't do something outside lavish, maybe it costs $1,000 or something. But to honor a parent who gives their like your time is invaluable. You know what I mean? To go and stay at the Hilton Hotel just one night. Do you know how many people we've inspired? Like, it's the Hilton. Like, you think about our kids see Paris Hilton, or, they see the commercials, and to know that this one time in elementary or middle school that they actually stayed at the Hilton, not just any Hilton, the Anaheim Hilton Hotel across from Disneyland. Do you know what I mean? And we could have fundraised for them to go to a one day at Disneyland. Like, we have to do something big in order to show our parents and our community that we enjoy and we're thankful for what they do and what, how much they volunteer. To see those parents, those parents were confident from Anaheim. We want parents that are in the city of Lawndale to say, you know what, I'm a Lawndale Unified School District parent, and this is, you know what I mean? I think that it says something greater about us. It says something about our school site. It says something about our district. It says something about our parent community. So I think that if we start doing something that's outside of the norm, I think that we would have more than 26 people online and, a few people here. I think that people be like, you know what, I got to get there because I heard they gave away a night stay at the Hilton and Disneyland and dinner. Like, you know how much it costs to have dinner with the family? Like, you want to be able to change our perspective, especially because our community is not like they say, we don't have a whole bunch of money to do these types of things. Well, maybe we can inspire, families to go to the Hilton and eat at the Hilton or order room service. You know what I mean? Because they know that this is what's in a budget. We know how to budget, but I think that was one big thing that they talked about is their reward system. And it wasn't necessarily about money, but it was more about inspiring people to show up. And why, you're showing up is important and valuable to us as a district. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Buenos días, mi nombre es María, yo vengo de la escuela Mark Twain. Les voy a compartir en español porque se me facilita más. Yo algo que aprendí que es muy importante fue unos programas que tienen nuestros consulados para nuestros estudiantes que van a ingresar a lo que es la universidad. Y algo que me tocó mucho fue de que muchos estudiantes paran sus estudios a causa de la situación económica que hay, sin saber que hay muchos recursos para ellos. Lo único que es ir al consulado y buscar lo que es en relaciones exteriores, lo que es ventanilla de orientación educacional. Ellos tienen muchísimos programas, muchísimas becas, que tienen alumnos que están 100% becados en sus carreras, salen trabajando y sin deudas. Y muchas personas no lo saben, entonces por eso hay que parar los estudios. Entonces creo que es muy importante como informarles más a los padres de high school que hay oportunidades para nuestros estudiantes y para nuestros papás que no se sientan cohibidos. Y aparte en esta ventanilla también hay opciones de escuelas online o presenciales para que nuestros padres puedan terminar secundaria, preparatoria y de ahí poder seguir otro grado de estudio. Y también ahí nos dirigieron en ese curso que había libros gratis de español que no son utilizados, que solamente es ir, ya sea como padres de las escuelas, maestros o directores, ir al cónsul y recoger esas cajas que tienen de libros en español. Y yo una pregunta que le realicé a la persona fue que si los programas de becas eran solamente para los mexicanos. ¿Por qué? Porque estaban hablando del consulado mexicano y la contestación que dio fue que no. Son para todos los estudiantes porque es un recurso que les ayuda a brindarlo California. Entonces, es muy importante tomar esos recursos para nuestros estudiantes y apoyarlos que sigan en sus estudios. No sé si tienen alguna pregunta.
Want to add about what she said. The books are for math, science, also reading in Spanish. Is for all the classes that the kids has in Mexico. It's all in Spanish, and yes, as a district preferent, not a parent, because I tried to ask for them, and they told me that not that ask for another person on my district, and they could ask for the kids, especially if they are in dual immersion. All the books are free, and they could have access for all the books for all the kids in dual immersion.
So say, for example, here's a question. Say, for example, parent says, well, I want to go, where do I go? Or what exactly am I doing to go get a book, for example? Is there an address? Is there something that, there's parent or,
Consulate,
Yes, Mexican consulate.
yeah.
Los Angeles.
Yes.
Oh, so you could just say, search it, and then say put Mexican consulate?
You have to go in person.
Yes, if you
Yes,
go in
because
person,
it is a physical.
yes, it's a physical
material.
book. And if you go in person, they are going to give it just one book. Well, not just one book, just the grade. If that grade is second grade, it's all the books for second grade.
No solamente te dan cajas enteras, tienen cajas enteras y no solamente de libros educacionales, sino libros de lectura también.
I just wanted to share, save the dates unless the dates change, but I was looking at the schedule. The LCAP meeting is scheduled for May 22nd. It'll be here. And LCAP is for local control and accountability plan. And then May 29th is when we have the parent celebration. We had one last year that you shared the certificate. So it'll be May 29th, but that'll be announced as well. Just kind of save the dates. May is the month.
And April 11.
April
And
11th
April
is the board
11th.
That takes us to our next slide. That really takes us, it's perfect. It turned out perfect. So let's remember these dates coming up. Support all groups. APAC is coming up on the 18th, very, very short from now. DELAC will be here back again in April 10th. And then we have the board meeting presentation. And I really encourage everybody, you know, to come around to see, to check it out or participate one way or another. Or just enjoy the information that will be given, as much as there's a lot of things that go on throughout a lapse of time. And then DPAC meeting will be April 24th. Yeah, so these dates are important. We will share right now the dates. I think it was May 26th.
Oh, for the LCAP meeting,
For the
May
LCAP.
22nd,
May 22nd.
May 22nd.
And once again, I don't believe that's official yet, but it's an idea where it should be or could be. And then the 29th, it'll be the celebration. Definitely everybody's invited to these meetings. Happy to have the more the merrier.
On April 24 or in May, you're going to have elections for a new, or you're staying on your terms, or you have elections this year?
Now be forced out by the following. But yeah, elections, I think that's a great question. That's a great question. I don't know how it's happened to the past. I'm not ready to talk about the subject.
Okay.
So
fine,
I mean,
okay.
I gotta vacate, and I'm not ready to talk about the subject, but yeah, elections can be done anytime, definitely we'll be here to the end of my term, and look forward to also be here to when the new teams come in. I will definitely Sonny was just here, and he kind of introduced me, or I kind of feel like I was under his wing, and then I spread out my own wings. But I feel like you need some of that, and I want to be here through the end of my term and come back at least, when I'm invited. If I'm invited, don't give me the mic though. But yeah, I thank everybody. We definitely had a very engagement meeting today.
May I add a couple
Yes.
things before we close?
Yeah, you're gonna close now.
Thank you, Mylette, for reminding us of elections, because our entire DPAC board and our entire DELAC board are coming on finishing 2 years. They've been in their roles for 2 years. And I loved how Alex referred to the old generation, the Sunnies of the world, the Mylettes of the world, who have held these leadership positions before. And we have others out in the world, leading in PTA, who used to be a generation even before them. So Nikel's, we call her like grandma, right? Because she was 2 generations back. But as we look around the room and we look around Zoom world, we have some emerging leaders that we might want to encourage to take a leadership role, beyond the school. So as we are talking with each other and meeting afterwards, you might nudge your friend like, hey, come on board. Alex just put out there, I'll help mentor you if you come on board. I'm sure Brenda would mentor someone who came on board. Mylette has stayed with us, even though she's retired as the leader, right? So there are lots of opportunities to join. So it's a good time to start talking about it. And then the last thing, as we think about April 11th, there are a whole bunch of ideas that were shared today that I tried my best to record, and I will get them typed out so that everyone can see them. But I wanted to just pose a question before we close. After hearing all of these things and all of these wonderful things that were learned at CABE, what do you feel is the most important thing to bring back to the board on April 11th? Because on April 11th, we typically ask all the leaders of the different groups to come. So our APAC leaders, our DPAC leaders, our DELAC leaders, our PTA leaders to come and share. But we have a whole bunch of ideas, and that's more than we can do in a 10-minute presentation. But what would you think? And I would just love to hear your thoughts right now. Would be like, if I did nothing else, I want to make sure this message gets across.
Family engagement.
Tell me more.
So it is, we all have mentioned in different ways that we need to grow this group. Right now, elections, we need to grow the group, bring more leaders. And I think this is important. I know it has been throughout the years, the parent engagement, but this time use the family, because there are families that are blended. There are grandpas, there are tutors, and not tutors, guardians, right? Let's bring them all together. And I think implementing new ways to grow the family engagement. I think it's important for our district. If we become partners in the education of our students, it will be reflected in their education progress. It is not going to be like dramatic from a C to an straight A, but it will impact their academic growth, their academic achievements. And I think family engagement is one of the things that we can work. It's my suggestion.
Just to kind of piggyback on that, I guess what we all are pretty much saying, like a center for parents to come in, anybody, looking for leadership, looking for questions, looking for answers, stuff like that. I think like right now, just like a perfect time, and I saw on some of the stuff that I was learning out there in CABE, is that, you know what, they use certain settings to put more engagement there. So some people came for some resources or something like that. And right before that, there was a DELAC or a DPAC meeting, so we could put it before and after. So for example, it ended at 10, and then after that, there's this kind of meeting going on, or something happened at 9, and then at 10, DPAC started, and it gives more room for engagement. It gives more room to add more stuff. So if we had like a center that was teaching parents how to navigate their kids from 8th grade to 9th grade, what resource and where to get them, where to find these opening hours. So, maybe we could start with something small, but something like, hey, it can come after all these potential meetings or before these meetings. It gives more room for people not only to get this information, learn, but also get into these meetings and double dip, I call it. I went for there for one thing and I got more than one thing out of it. So this center that we can build can start maybe here right after any of these meetings. How we do it, there's an idea. I believe we're all asking for it. And in many ways, I think we've been asking for something within the time I've been here. We've just kind of thrown it out, these different ideas, but all these ideas can be combined and later be given in a format where it's a resource center for parents.
Got some comments.
Yeah, I think they all want to talk. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
I think simplicity is one thing. People think that if you over structure something that you've made a difference. And sometimes that's the thing that most parents are running from. As a parent, you're always striving to be perfect. When you come to the district, you're not looking for something perfect. You're looking for how my point got, my problem got solved or how it is. I think the one thing that CABE pushed, because I went to most of the parent engagement things, was combination. There's not enough combining. They would like to see, and I would as well, the school district interacting with the school site parent activities that are going on the parent side. So if there's a PTA meeting, it will be nice to see district leaders come, with your shoulders down and just come, you know what I mean? And then it will be good for the board of trustees to come to see what it is that we're servicing and funding through the community through a different eye. Another thing too that I noticed that they talked about was combining meetings. It will be great to see all of these meeting people of the parents be at one meeting instead of an individual meeting, because sometimes parents are spread thin if we're on different if we're on 7 different communities, sometimes just spread thin. It would be nice to just come no matter what and just have a meeting with maybe some agenda points, or just kind of, just have just a spoken space. And we don't have enough of that. That's why everybody feels so kind of structured off. But if there's one thing that I took from CABE, if I could sum up the entire 3 days, the district, the board, and the school with the parents to combine. I think it will help a lot of the parent frustration when anything occurs. It will be different if something occurred and you don't know who the superintendent is and they're walking past you. You're like, well, why does this person get that? I think that's where you begin to show like, the real person and that we do care as a district. So I think if the district did a little bit more outside resourcing, like just get to the school, go to a PTA meeting, go to a school side meeting to actually meet the parents, opposed to just meeting the parents at a CABE meeting or here, I think it would change the scope of what we're trying to achieve, because a lot of it is really just simple. It's really simple.
There's a parent in the chat that would like to speak. Lydia Castro, you can go ahead.
Thank you. I typed it out. Yeah, I wanted to say how an idea of how we bring the community together. I hear some of the excellent ideas that the parents have presented and the staff. And I think that if we have a summarized meeting or even a flyer posted on Parent Square with all the resources that you guys acquired and spread it out through the neighborhood, I think it's a good way to start getting people to pay attention, because everybody wants these resources. So, and just maybe a quick meeting, that allows for more participation, because, and maybe at a later time, so that the parents who are working can also attend. That is my 2 cents on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, everybody said like, how can we get parents in our community, like in our DELAC, in our DPAC? My idea, because it was CABE, when I go to quería entrar a esa conferencia, but it was too full, like for DELAC, I think, dealers. Lo que podemos hacer es, like, ponernos, I don't know, after school, o si no, cuando creo que school nights, mesas afuera, representantes de DELAC, representantes de DPAC, quien quiera apoyarnos, y pedir a los padres que se escriban y poder nosotros, cuando tengamos un meeting, escribirles, mandarles un mensaje, decir, hey, no te olvides que tenemos un meeting en DELAC o que tenemos un meeting en DPAC, incentivar a los padres. También es otro ejemplo de que podemos, como dijo la compañera, de que podemos traer intensivos para los padres para que ellos puedan venir y ellos se sientan motivados a participar. Eso.
I'm sorry, if I could add one thing. At the beginning of the school year, we had a meeting where all the tables were set up with the different organizations that Lawndale has. And Virginia Castro opened it up, the superintendent. And I walked out of that meeting feeling so informed and saying, oh, well, if I can't help here, I can help there. And having Virginia there, it gave it, more of like, okay, they're listening to you. The very top knows, so her team is all aware. Anyway, an event like that, again, now, not just once at the beginning of the year, but reintroducing the parents, who weren't able to make it to the other one, may get some more volunteers.
Yes, the volunteer fair. Okay.
Great. Exactly. Thank you.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen,
Louder.
I propose.
Louder in any language.
I was thinking about parent identity issue. We have DELAC, ELAC, AALAC. Why can't we have LAPAC, meaning the Latino American who identifying themselves as one of the majority group, I believe, going pretty fast those days. And I believe that can bring some more insight in our commitment to gather more parent participation in our meeting and activities, because I believe the identity problem for parents also influence the kids, and why certain school parents cannot participate. It can be the schedule, It can be the willingness, because the schedule is not the issue. Why you're not interested in something? Because there's a lack of belonging. You don't feel like you belong to that group. Or you don't feel that you've been tracking your culture. So hopefully we can create a new committee for DPAC that can give a little more, strength to the Latino community, because not because skin color doesn't identify where you're from. You can be Latino, you're Black as, whatever. So it's just a proposition. And thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Back to you.
Funny you say that, Robertson, because even in all the workshops and the conference I was within those workshops, something like that was talked. And there's another district that's actually has beyond just the DPAC, the APACs, and they also had a special needs department committee, and which it run very similar to our committees. So yeah, I mean, it's great ideas that we extended to more committees to find identification. It's great, obviously we have Brenda here that can talk a little bit, because she has, several children, and she could, probably be in different committees at the same time, or identify herself when she feels like, in this case, she's gonna go her 2 years term, maybe she could, start running in a different committee, which I believe that's very possible. So, I mean, great idea, and allowed me to bring up that committee that other school has. So it's great ideas.
Yeah, I remember Brenda proposed that last year, it was last coming year, about the special needs committee. Yeah, and I think, yeah, which is good, because we have a lot of, like Anderson has a special needs program. Mark Twain, no, not Mark Twain, Kit Carson.
Has the special day class, yes. Pathways is called now.
Yes, and there's a lot of parents that they don't know the resources and the help that like regional center, that things that regional center have, because they don't even know if
Guajardo in Kit Carson tried to do something like that to bring community, but I'm not sure why she should stop. But it was really good, because with her we were learning a lot. They also make some workshops about after all the information, and we have some in one short workshop. I remember they make us some little labels. So with image for the kids nonverbal, they could point. My kid is nonverbal, for example, and that workshop really helped me a lot, because I go out from that meeting also with something that I could use in my home.
Yeah, that I was in one when Ms. Guajardo did those workshops, which it really helped me too with my son. That thing when I asked her if she was focused more to kids from 0 to 5, and there's not only kids with need 0 to 5. My kid is now 7, so I have other kind of needs that it will help with the kind of workshop.
Parents learn from other parents, but I think one thing that we don't, and I could be speaking completely out of, there's no conversation with trauma-enforced children with disabilities or just in normal life. I'm new to the world of trauma, adoption, foster care, special needs. And when I tell you it was overwhelming, it was beyond overwhelming. But to even come to the district and not even know that we had a foster care department that even serviced anything, because I never heard about it, I never used it, it was never offered to me as a foster parent when I started. To even need resources that are not just the typical resources for a child with special needs, because we're servicing the disability, but we're not servicing the trauma. So the disability is not toning down and the parent is overworked and overstressed because there's the one component that we silently haven't even dealt with, which is traumatizing the parent, which is the reason that parents are not showing up. You know what I mean? Like today, I'm showing up here because as a parent, it's more important, but I could be online right now at an adoption parent support group because I don't see that in my district. And I'm talking, this is coming from Northern California. So different things like that I even noticed at Cabe were different things that they were starting, but it's definitely something that is not talked about at all. I've had one community liaison that she and I connected on a different conversation, which was about special needs. And we were able to exchange that information because one, my child is a very high functioning special need, but the quirks of his trauma affect so many disabilities that I'm not even aware of. I wasn't aware of regional. I worked for regional because we do adults with disabilities, but I never had to use it as a service for myself. I never knew about the Napa Center. You know, those are different resources or different programs here in Lawndale that could help our children that parents need to know, but we don't know them because either you're embarrassed as a parent, you're over-informed as a parent, or you don't even know where to start as a parent. So I think that if we incorporate and we open the door of the conversation about trauma and disability, this room will be full, because we'd be like, oh my God, you too? Just think about the different things that melt your son down in the morning or your daughter. You know, think about those things. We don't think about those things. So I think that the committee of combination, the room will be packed. It's not that we're not packed because we're not being effective. It's because we're not talking about what the parents are experiencing is the reason that we're uninformed, we're untouched with our community of things that we need that, you know, some things we can kind of get away from, but there are other things that we need to start bringing in because times have changed.
I totally agree with you. This is one thing that I was talking with Ms. Jones, who she's the leader for DELAC. And I asked her, what is the percentage of the IEP students at Mark Twain? And she told me that's a very good question. So this is something new, and we want to get to it, you know, maybe have workshops and say, what does IEP mean? What does, you know, special need class mean? And what are the resources that the kids and the parents could get? I think that's necessary. My child, he is in the IEP program, and he also gets the psychology support from the school. But the reason why he gets all of this and all the support is because I'm involved. I know where to go, what to do. And, you know, it will be nice if all the parents could know about this.
To-do list, a long thing. And
I just wanted to confirm, what time should they show up for the board meeting presentation?
board meetings now begin at 5:30. That's where the welcome happens, the Pledge of Allegiance, then the board goes to closed session. And that can be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, we never know. So good rule of thumb is to come at 5:30 to see it open and then just hang out, or I'd say come no later than 6 if you want to see the presentation.
Are we all invited, or you're going to select or invite parents?
Everyone's invited always to attend our board meetings. For purposes of presenting, I tend to just go to our leadership. So I'll ask DELAC, who's presenting DPAC, APAC, PTA. So within the groups that you are serving as a leader, you can join or decide who's going to represent. And or if you have something you really want to make sure you get out there, then you talk to Brenda, or you talk to Alex, or you talk to Robinson and say, let's make sure we get this out. Okay. I want to be mindful of everybody's time. This has been a good meeting.
Yeah, but it's really a good turnout, you know, we're definitely closing out right now. I look at the numbers of how many people we have here present and how many people we still have online. Online, we probably only lost 2 or 3 people, and here present only 1. So everybody was still engaged, and I kind of want to throw in that we kind of went into unofficial time, and that's something that, you know, I believe we're all okay with. So, you know, thank everybody. I really appreciate you guys for your time. You know, this is first time we do a DPAC, DELAC joint thing, and it turned out great. You know, I hope I didn't take the mic too much away from you, Brenda, and everybody else, but it really turned out good, and it shows because we're still we're still here. So, you know, love to continue, but we'll close out with these dates as you guys have all reflected, and then call it a day. Thank you.
Gracias por el